Okay, let's go. So, where you are?
I am in Gdansk, Poland. But besides Gdansk, Poland, I am in a quite very happy place in my career as an artist, where I get to travel to different places and actually get to do murals, especially on scales like this, which is something I've always kind of really longed for. So really good place is where I'm at this point.
Where are you heading to?
Where I'm heading?
I don't speak English. I don't understand.
Oh my God! Thank you.
Zato.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Coś jeszcze spytam.
So sweet. This is great. You're getting this, right? Thank you so much. Oh, he has to take a picture of us together, yeah?
Okay.
Let it run. It's all right. This is funny.
Yeah.
I love it. Perfect.
You?
He take picture.
You?
Yeah.
Wiem, że we dwoje, ale zaraz.
Yeah. Oh, that's me. Yeah.
Może pani zrobić zdjęcie?
Ach Boże,
Tak?
pięknie, ja tu się wysilam, a tu jest Pan, który może pomóc. Ja jestem zachwycona tym.
Świetnie. Bardzo się cieszę.
Dla mnie to jest alegoria uciekaj z wojska. Dla mnie. Ja nie wiem, co na myśli miał twórca. Uciekaj z wojska, kochaj przyrodę i ludzi.
Okej.
Perfect.
Dziękuję.
Proszę bardzo.
So yeah, to you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
I ja, thank you.
I'm glad you like it.
Stale będę patrzeć. Zresztą wszystkie te murale są dla mnie cudne. Każde inne, ale to jest i w takim tempie, tak szybko zrobione, niespodziewane. Przyjemnie chodzić. Miłego dnia.
Nawzajem. Wszystkiego
Do widzenia.
dobrego.
Thank you. And that is where I'm at. You were asking, that's where I'm at. You know, like that right there is like 10 times more like heartwarming to me than looking at my painting, you know? Like just being able to see people just like, you know, she took time out of her day to go get flowers. Like I love that. God bless her. So I'm sorry, where were you?
Where are you heading to?
Where am I heading to? Hopefully continuing to see things like that. I want to do more of this. You know, not so much for my own sake of like, oh, I just want to put my painting up, but for feeling like you're making a difference and changing someone's day. You know, she's gonna see this every day now on the way to the supermarket, and that to me is something I want to continue doing. Just going to different places around the world and kind of really changing the environment, the public space for people, and changing their lives in one way or another. I mean, it sounds silly and it sounds cliche, like, oh, I want to change lives with art, but like, you know, at the end of the day, that it does happen, because you just saw full proof, you know, and I think that that's the beauty of it, is that you can go and do something as simple as just spending 4 or 5 days painting a pilot, and then somebody will go out of their way to bring you flowers and say thank you. So, you know, to me, that is what I want to keep doing, and whether or not I'll get to meet more people that actually stop to say thank you, that doesn't matter. I know it's happening. I know that there's people out there who appreciate it, and that's what I want to keep doing. So.
Okay. You had a chance to look at the murals in the collection. What do you think about it?
You know, hands down, this is a phenomenal gallery, an outdoor gallery at that. It's one of those things where I spent quite a bit of time walking around. There's just something absolutely fabulous about being able to look at different artwork that's not just, you know, it's one of those things where when you go to a gallery space, like if you go to one of my exhibitions, there's usually just one theme, so everything is kind of tied together. Here, a lot of the murals, you know, 4 or 5 murals would have a theme, but they're kind of spread apart. And then the next year, you have another theme. So when you're walking and you're seeing all these murals, they're all a little bit different, they all tell different stories, but they're also from different artists. You got artists from Spain, from Sweden, from Chile, from, you know, all over the world, US, that it's one of those things where you can see that in the colors that they use, or in the style that they're doing, or the message that they're trying to convey in their artwork. And that's something that's very rare to find in such a closed, tight-knit space. You know, even when you go to abandoned buildings, for example, in Sweden, if you go to an abandoned building and look at all the different artwork there by different artists, majority of the artists in there are Swedish, so they all kind of, you know, are influenced by where they're at. Here, you actually have influences and cultures from all over the world coming in here and putting it right next to each other. And that's something that's really rare. I love that. I had such a nice time being able to capture that and see that. And it's one of those things where I told, you know, I said I would love to come back in a few years and do another one, just because I'll be in a different place as an artist. You know what I mean? We constantly develop ourselves and find a new way to process our imagination and find a new way of relaying our messages that, you know, a few years from now I might be able to come and do something completely different than what you see behind you. But I almost feel a little selfish to say that, because I feel like any available wall space should go to somebody else, obviously, because there's just so much great artwork there. I mean, you know, there's art here from 1997, there's walls that have murals from 2001, you know, and it's one of those things that you see that and you go, man, like, there's just all these different artworks, and some of them are just absolutely phenomenal that you're just kind of like, how is mine even in comparison to that? Like, why am I here? Like, why did I get picked to be one of the few that are up here? I believe you said 45 murals. It's an honor to kind of feel like you're part of that now in this area. But at the same time, the world is filled with amazing artists and fantastic stuff that I wish more people took lead from what you guys are doing and do more stuff like that. And I hope that we can do something like that in Sweden as well, because you watch how that changes people's lives. Like, I'm sure she's not the only one who felt this way, and that's the power of art. You know, I've always said that art is a beautiful language, and clearly it is. You know?
Okay, and just to finish out, just a few words about the painting.
Yeah, just a few words. It's a painting. No, it's you know, it is a pilot that I painted based on a photograph I found from a pilot from the 1920s or so. I don't remember the exact date. But it's one of those things where I had no clue and no idea that we were painting, that the street that we were painting on is actually called Pilot Street. And I also found out that there's an airport right behind the building, so it's one of those things that tied up really, really nicely to the history and culture of this area, because suddenly you're painting a pilot, and it's in an area that used to be used as an airport, and there's some beautiful history in that. And you know, it's one of those things where it would still be relevant 20, 30 years from now, because you can't take away the history of the space, of the location. So it's kind of a nice touch, because that image is going to stay relevant for years to come. So I'm really, really proud of it, really happy with it. And you know, it's one of those things where this has been by far the largest mural I've ever done. I don't know if I'll ever get a chance to do a bigger one, but it's definitely one of the most memorable moments for me. So I really, really dig it. So, yeah.
Thanks.